And here's a terrific scrap between Justin Marks, and then you got Dr. Jim Lowe, and then Patrick Dempsey in behind him. They're all scrapping it out.
Here comes Patrick Dempsey. He's got to be smooth here, got to be patient. Joe Foster will be on the radio giving him the information. That's the key. He's got to tell him, listen, that is not a car for position in front of you. Take your time, make a smart move.
In the center of the screen, the black and orange car is going to hit this Mazda right about now.
Tries to thread the needle, and the needle didn't have a big enough eye, Dorsey.
No, but this is a wild ride for Joe Foster.
And Joe Foster, after a brilliant qualifying effort, the best ever for Dempsey Racing, they run third.
Well, he told me before the off today, he said, look for me to fade a little bit. Time management will be key to getting a good result here.
From Mazda to Mazda, the second place car in GT is in.
The 40 Dempsey Mazda started second. It comes into the pit second, and they're making their driver change. So Joe Foster getting out, which puts Charles Espenlaub in. Of course, he's filling in for Patrick Dempsey, who's off shooting Grey's Anatomy. And Charles jokingly calls himself the most unpopular man in the pits, because whenever he's there, it means that Patrick Dempsey is not. But these guys saying that they really needed to worry about that tire wear. So they were so concerned with keeping up with the pace in the beginning that they were more concerned about the overall picture.
Talking GT, talking possibly the best run, and certainly the best qualifying we've ever seen for Patrick Dempsey's team, and Joe Foster is the man in the middle. He's done a remarkable job.
That's right, he's been integral in bringing this program up to this level. But Joe, you said when you got out there you were going to run at your own pace. You were looking big picture with the tire wear. How did the car feel out there in that first stint?
It was definitely slippery. You could tell the tires in the beginning weren't too bad, so we hung with the lead pack for a while, but definitely the front tires were going off initially, and the rear tires went off at the end, you know, which is fine. It's the same for everybody, so it was definitely like an ice rink at the end. And we started on the tires we qualified on. We need a little more budget to start on stickers, and so we kind of expect that to happen. But in the end, it worked out fine, and I think definitely the level of the team, Mazda has been very supportive of us, and obviously our boss Patrick's at home, hopefully watching this. We're doing good. It was a fantastic pit stop this time. We learned a lot from the last two races as regards pit stops and driver changes and stuff like that, and that part went perfect. So we're definitely happy.
And Joe told me earlier that there was a whole new vibe here when the team comes with the emotion that they can actually win this one.
GT, I said there was a great story behind Dempsey Racing. Charles Espenlaub, they found out that Patrick couldn't make it because of his filming commitments with not only Grey's Anatomy but a new movie. So Charles is racing in Speed World Challenge in Mid-Ohio this weekend. He drove all the way from Mid-Ohio down here to Watkins Glen to do this race, to fill in for Patrick. Then he's going to drive all the way back to do his Speed World Challenge commitments this weekend. He leads class.
Well, Lee, you were talking about the 40 earlier, and this team was not happy with that car setup. I was talking with Joe Foster yesterday, and he and their engineer were just pouring over data because they weren't happy with the car at all. I just checked in with Joe, and he said, you know, we kind of threw the kitchen sink at it, and I'm not sure that it's the fastest car out there. We're just really good in traffic. And you were talking about the movie that Patrick Dempsey is working on. He's working on that with Julia Roberts and Ashton Kutcher.
Well, the 40 car just came in, made a pit stop. Joe Foster just climbed out. Charles Espenlaub will drive off of pit lane. Small team doing great things this year, and they are actually looking to run two Mazdas in 2010. And when Joe Foster gets his helmet off and cools down a bit, we'll find out what this Mazda was like on track, guys.
Patrick Dempsey and Joe Foster were a part of the Avon Walk for Breast Cancer, where we understand over $4 million was raised, and Patrick auctioned off his driver suit from the Rolex 24 this year. Well done, boys. Great stuff.
You guys have a long bike ride coming up as well. I know you're training for that.
Yeah, absolutely. The Dempsey Challenge is going to be the last weekend, before Homestead, so October 3rd up in Lewiston, Maine. Looking forward to going up there and having a good bike ride with Patrick. And if anybody wants to check out that, they can go look to dempseychallenge.org. But definitely looking forward to getting the 40 and the 70 back on track and communicating well and going toward the front.
And your whole team's going to compete in that bike race, is that correct?
We have a good number of the guys, and also some fans of the team are going up as well to see how long we can make it on the bikes.
Joe Foster is going at it as well to try and get on the podium in his Dempsey Racing Mazda. Let's hear from the team principal, Patrick.
Well, and it would be the first podium of the season for Dempsey Racing. And Patrick, as you're watching and listening on the radio a little bit, what do you hear from Joe? Does this car have enough left in it to maybe make a move and get on that podium?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to get down to tire management at this point. You notice with the Porsches, they go off really quickly. I think that's what it's going to get down to. The car's running fine, even with the damage to the front end of the fender. Joe's good. He's feeling good in the car, and I think it's going to be about the conditioning of the drivers and tire management at this point, and we'll see where we end up. We got a half hour to go. A lot can happen.